Mountain Dew Leaf, MSI, Xfinity, and ESEA.
And just like the giggle I got, the expense is at compLexity. Unfortunately, they were unable to conjure up nearly as many rounds as NRG did. The 16-4 showing there. Certainly not going in the way of the compLexity family. Guys, talk to me a little bit about what we saw right off the bat. We know that this one was a rough one for them, but where can we nail down the openings in this one?
I mean, pretty much all over the place.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's not like just, you know, when you're in a ship and it's got one hole.
Nah.
It's just literally just the entire thing's just leaking everywhere.
They call it Titanic. Slammy did not have a great game individually, and I feel like that's one of the pinpoints to take off from this compLexity lineup. When he's not having a great individual game, you sort of like have to assume that he can bring something else into the table, and I don't think we saw anything from compLexity where we could pinpoint, you know, this is a Slammy effect of the team. This is like where Slammy came in and he told them, do this, do this, do this, and let's get some rounds out of it. It was basically just a very lackluster performance from compLexity. On the other hand, of course, NRG showing that yesterday probably were just a fluke in that sense. That said, though, compLexity is not a team that you can really, you know,
test your real might
wheels in that sense. You know, Renegades is a much better team, and we did see yesterday that NRG have some small flaws in their game, and they can be off, but, you know, such a dominant performance from them right here suggests, you know, that they're back on track, and compLexity, on the other hand, just not good enough, and as you said in the pregame, I think they're going to have a rough time for the rest of Pro League.
Yeah, it's, I guess, the problem for compLexity is that Slammy is more like a, you know, budget version of FNS in that sense, right?
Like a budget version of me.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
Oh,
like,
okay,
it's hard to be more budget than you are.
My God. And I love it. Personally, I love how this all breaks down sometimes. But one thing we do have to kind of bring to light here, it wasn't just Slimmy who didn't exactly show up. PTR didn't exactly have a massive game that we expect him to have either.
Yeah, and again, Peter's been more inconsistent this year than what he's been in past seasons of Pro League, whether that comes down to just instability, I guess, within the lineup, or him not necessarily finding the same kind of place as he did with FNS as an game leader. That's hard to pinpoint, really. But yeah, he's definitely had a bit of a lackluster season. I guess it is kind of made up by the fact that Ye and Android and so on have actually been better, at least than what I expected.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I went into this season expecting him to be the by far standout player on that team, and that hasn't happened at all. And I don't think it's going to get easier for the remaining games of the season either.
I feel it's okay to be a little bit disappointed in PTR, because I feel like he's a guy, especially when he played for NRG, that's only a year ago with the Germans and Taps and then got B. When I was in Liquid, I felt a lot of guys over there were rating him very highly. We were thinking about him, you know, being one of those players that potentially, if he could keep the trajectory going upwards, he could be one of those guys maybe joining Liquid or maybe joining Cloud9 in the future. But his career is really taking a deep path right now. He's gone from being a decent player with potential to something more now to find himself in compLexity and not being able to be the difference maker for a team like compLexity. So PTR, you know, without going too harsh on him, I feel that's a guy that is currently wasting his potential, and something needs to change within his like the way he approaches the game or the way he plays the game or something like that, because he has the talent to do way more than he's doing right now.
And unfortunately, that was not a showcasing of it right there on Mirage. But we will be flipping over to Train, where things could go just a little bit differently. Let's just say, hypothetically, that the cobwebs are shaken off, that this was all just an elaborate ruse. Okay, maybe not that much, but it was all just a warm-up game, so to say. Could we potentially see a different outcome on Train, or are you guys just dooming it straight out?
I mean, I doomed them for the first game. You were a little bit more hopeful. I've not gotten any extra hope out of what we saw in Mirage. Yes, it's a different map. Yes, Train is a bit different. And we did see, I guess, one of the hiccups we've seen from NRG so far this season was on Train.
Yeah.
But even though, you know, again, we went with that as a bit of an anomaly for the season for NRG, so I think they're going to come out guns blazing, actually play as a team on Train this time around, and yeah, not run into the same kind of issues as we've seen them, as we saw them had yesterday. And at that point, again, I don't think compLexity has too much to offer. We didn't get to see much of anything really on Mirage. I think it's a bit of a shame that they had to start CT side and just kind of got trounced, because you couldn't necessarily see what kind of impact, from a strategical point of view, Semi has had to the team, but it doesn't really give you any reasoning to change up your prediction.
So how about this? Let's play a fun little game, just a little one at home, for you and for you too. What would you do specifically to to make this complexity lineup thrive or do significantly better than where they are right now? And actually inviting you at home to join us as well using hashtag ESL Pro League. Join in on this conversation. It's sure to be a banger for what these two have to say. Who wants to go first?
Are we allowed to change players?
You can do whatever you want. Let's just say if you're in charge of this.
Again, I'd rewind time, go back to the start of the season, obviously.
I didn't say anything unrealistic.
No, I mean, well, you're trying to make complexity better, so I think already there we're out on a bit of a limb. No, but in all seriousness, I think you have to look at the inventory of your team, right? Like the players you have available to you, and I think just from a skill point of view, you're already running into a couple of issues. And again, if you could go back in time just 2 weeks and keep FNS, that would be a massive upgrade.
That could have been the glue.
Yeah, I think that, again, FNS has been really good at just making players who are maybe a 6 out of 10 play, like a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10, and just get that little extra out of their players to get them further into a DreamHack or something like that.
Well, what would an 8 out of 10 player in Pimp, what would you say?
I mean, you called me an 8 out of 10 player?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It's the trajectory going up.
I would probably, being all serious, I'd probably hire Moses as a consultant. And I know he's wise enough and old enough to have the experience. And
I'm all about being hired for money.
Yeah, hired for money, that's what I would do. And then if I were you, Moses, I would hire some European agents. I would hire some European players, bring them over there, mix them up with the NA guys.
Maybe Danish players.
Maybe Danish players, and maybe, again, not to be disrespectful, but try to look away from UK players. And,
I was going to say, as long as you stay away from the UK players.
It's not they're doing bad, they're just not doing good enough. So, hire Moses as a consultant and make sure that Harry has nothing to say whatsoever in that decision.
Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and shut down anything that any of you have to say and say we've got less than a minute to get in a game. And you've already expressed that you don't think it's going to be any different. Yeah. Just energy. I'm going to have to say complexity just to go against the grain. I'm kidding. It's probably going to be energy.
Harry.
Energy in the driver's seat to be going to Dallas. Of course, you need to grab your tickets at proleague.com/Dallas. But that's for another time. You can find those there.
Did they officially qualify?
I'm pretty sure they're on the way. But I tell you what, we're going to give the action over to these guys. Just take it over there.
Give us your energy.
Yes. I just did.
God bless it all. I know that was bad. I'm so sorry. I hold myself to a higher standard. Yeah, so we're going to get started on this second map.
I'm offended, on behalf of everyone that you just did that.
Harry, the things that you say during a broadcast.
I know, and that's saying something. If I'm offended by what you just did, Jason.
Either way, yes, this, just to build on that conversation, because it is a pretty interesting conversation to play GM just with no consequences for 30 seconds is always a good time. I think leadership with the team at this level is kind of like the #1 priority, and if you're going to unlock the potential of guys like Ye, guys like Android, you need to actually have, a leadership and a structure in place to allow them to thrive. And that's something, obviously, the transition of bringing FNS in, getting started down his path, and then very quickly switching over to Slemmy, who's an in-game leader coming back to the game. He's been away for some time. They do have Rambo behind them, and we saw actually Rambo did some good things with the Korean team. I can never remember which one it was, Project KR, I think. He actually got them started on the right path as well. So I think I think that what complexity is doing at the moment is putting faith in that leadership coming from the coaching position rather than the in-game leader at the moment, which isn't the strongest role they have filled.
Well, they had to try and make do with a fairly awful situation, did complexity. But we get to see, do they have what it takes to beat NRG here on trade? And as Halvor said, don't have this 110% correct because it's Halvor, but if NRG win this, then they qualify.
I trust Halvor on that one.
Yeah, he's pretty trustworthy. If he gets it wrong, be sure to at him on various social medias. I don't know any of his usernames, so there's that. But Daps, there's a smoke down. How have you managed that? 2 big kills, and now there's still a man in the site. That's Daps what is he doing? What is he doing in this pistol? And he's making it look easy, Jason. You can't do this. These are pro players, and Daps are just cutting them down.
Ooh, complexity's been done dirty in this one. 2 kills through the smoke. He's going to go for a third as well, and he's able to find another one in the round, and I think Slemmy's just out of the action. Daps has a kit, so there's no chance of him stopping it. The round's already over. What a round from Daps. That's going to go in the highlight reels. And the pistol goes the way of NRG. Here on the CT side of Train, not the ideal start for complexity. Daps just going to straight up get full armor and an M4. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, he's going to be feeling very, very happy after that. I mean, you know, getting off to a good start is Daps, and he's gone for it early on. Throws out the Incendiary over to main. That's delayed any sort of play that compLexity we're going to try and make as well. Breezy's gone aggressive into Ivy in the meantime, along with Cirque. So they've spotted out that this avenue looked clear. And I mean, it looked like compLexity were maybe considering just going for a fast A play. They had, you know, one flash just to go for it, but since that Incendiary goes in, since the aggression down Ivy, they've slowed her right down, and maybe they're going to mix things up.
I don't think this round is too much of consequence for compLexity. Obviously, they would love to get some kills, but not investing a whole lot into this. One Deagle on Ye, one flashbang onto Slemmy. Obviously, with that plant, they're looking towards the third round of the half for that AK buy. And the Deagle's not yielding the results that they would like. Giving him plenty of time, though, and no reason not to. I mean, you're kind of just saying, you know, see what you can get done. We have this one flashbang, which we don't expect to be all that impactful. The tough part is they haven't even gotten to use the flashbang until just now, and already the round is over. Slemmy's going to get pushed upon. No one going down for compLexity, or I mean for NRG, and actually looked like Cirque was just going to stay safe, but he goes back for this third frag. But here come the AK-47s. Without a plant in the second round, there's not going to be an opportunity for the AWP. And PTR goes down to the Galil just so he can have full nades.
Also, Jason, can I get some confirmation? Because, you know, we've said PTR a few times, but then you've also said Peter a couple of times. What should we dub this man?
I don't think it really matters. It goes in the flow of the moment to me. You know,
Okay.
if you're in a high intensity situation, sometimes Peter just, you know, that's what comes out, and you just got to roll with the punches.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great advice. You know, it even applies in the broader sense for you know, like life as a whole. I don't know where I was going to go with that either.
Okay.
But look at this with compLexity. They've lost Slemmy. He's gone down early, but they're not too bothered by that. They've just gone rushing out towards the A bomb site. They've bypassed everyone, but they've kind of ooh, Daps kind of gets on the ladder a bit, and that's going to diminish his accuracy. Breezy's down here causing some havoc, and oh, they've denied the bomb plant. This is very quickly starting to look like a very good round, actually, for NRG. Peter's going to try and prove them wrong. He gets tagged down to 13 HP. He's got Ethan and Breezy left to topple. In my opinion, two of the best players on this NRG roster. This is no easy feat. And that's why Ethan, watching the smallest of gaps, he just taps and taps. And just like that, it's going to be a third round for NRG. And now there's no money for compLexity. They're going to be partial buying down to about 2,000 and going to try and go for the bomb plant here, you imagine.
Yeah, it's essentially all they can really do. That buy doesn't accomplish a whole lot for him, does it? Ethan's got a ton of money. It's going to start building up, and that's the nightmare for the T side here on Train. You want to be able to limit that, so you're going to see more of an investment. 3 Deagles, 1 CZ. That would have been a brilliant first kill to have if they could have established ladder control. Def was there in time to take the duel, but not able to win it. Android's trying to keep him locked in, and there might be a chance here, just narrowly avoiding vision of the head. And actually now he's been spotted, Android, and they know exactly where he is, and Cirque wrapping around behind is going to get a free kill, and no one going down. It's Slemmy with the Glock, the last man left. Another big round, another round to build up money for this NRG defense.
Well, at least, you know, now they've got money to buy. Slemmy as well, looking like the Slem Dog millionaire. He's got $6,200 to his name. He's going to be able to drop an AWP if they'd like. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to throw one of those over to Peter. He's got that. He's feeling good about it. And still no AWP out for NRG. It's still just back-to-back bonus rounds for the CT side. 2 MP9 still in play. And that's not something you see every day, is it, Jason? Heading into round number 5. Double SMGs out for NRG. Well, here's Breezy down in Ivy. There's 3 players there. He's keeping an eye on it. Doesn't really have anyone nearby to actually help him out. So if he goes down, this could be a pretty big hole in the defense for NRG.
There's a lot of presence and a lot of pressure to apply, and the utility usage from NRG is quite nice. Again, though, keep an eye on that bomb. Still dropped towards the base of stairs, and no one from compLexity is nearby. To gain control of box halls and going to back away. But again, they've used so much utility to get to this point, and they're still not in a position to attack. And actually, 3 players at the end of Ivy are ready to go, but they don't have teammates to cause any kind of split. And you could see compLexity doesn't want to mess with ladder room. This is getting dicey. Cirque realizes something's coming. They've swung out and Def waiting for that peek. That's a nice shot. Only the head showing, and Breezy now can have an off angle towards the bomb site. Not peeking yet, just making sure no one can progress there. The bomb is so slow. It's actually going all the way around towards Ivy. This has allowed the rotations to come in. Good opening kill from Breezy to put things in a 4-on-4. One smoke, one flash, and it might not even matter if Breezy's just going to take them all out before they can use them. Here's the footsteps, sound cues available. 3 kills, a triple kill on the defense, and Ethan's there to clean things up. compLexity, they had what they wanted. They could just never really get coordinated. PTR is left in a 1 versus 3 with only 10 seconds left. Gonna get the bomb, at least gonna get this plant, but inside the smoke, he's not gonna have a whole lot of places to go afterwards, and actually, that covers him just enough. 2 SMGs to go against, and the tough part is the smoke is allowing them to get close. He's trying to be sneaky around it. Not able to find the kills, not able to even take the shot. It would have been all guesswork. So Defuse is going to come in, but that's a costly round from NRG, so that's at least a decent start for compLexity.
Still, I think if you're compLexity, you're looking at this, NRG already being 5 rounds up, and you haven't really challenged them all too much. You are going to be getting a bit nervous. They do get a buy into this round. This was, of course, a wonderful performance from Breezy.
And that's one of the things that we've been, praising NRG for, is how deep some of this skill goes when you have these 3 players, Breezy, Ethan, and Cirque. And we don't even mention Fugly nearly often enough, to be completely fair to him. Ooh, double Molotov. EA burns down to 14. He's going to be furious about that one. That nade surely going to finish him off. That should be a kill, and it is. That's right next to him. But yeah, there's just so many players in this NRG team that are able to recover in difficult spots. Good damage, good spam through the smoke onto Slemmy. And it's a 5-on-3. No one from NRG even taking damage.
Yeah, this is a tricky round now for compLexity. They're really hoping that someone from NRG oversteps. Someone perhaps, gets caught out of position. NRG, they have no reason to give anything in the way of compLexity. It gets that much worse. Oh, good night, sweet Prince Android. He lived a good life down there towards Ivy, but Cirque's going to be able to snuff him out. Ethan, he's dropped the bomb. It's a slaughter, Jason. This round, this was a full buy. And there's only one man left. It's Def. The UK, the resident UK representation.
It's about to show you why we said don't go for the UK players.
Okay, that's a bit hurtful.
Giving up his spot.
Because, all the NA guys have done so well in this round. Okay, yeah, Fugly was up.
I mean, all the ones in NRG have done pretty good.
Okay, yeah, but you've got a bit of a bias there,
Just saying. Good frags from Cirque, and also good relocating over towards Ivy.
And yeah, I mean, I have to agree. We don't say Fugly's name enough. I think, he's someone who...
It's one of the great crimes of this lineup, isn't it?
It is. But, I mean, I think it's because 3 names sounds nicer, And also because he's like... Okay, you're going to have to think back a bit here, Jason. You would have remembered when you were going through school and stuff.
Okay.
Like when you're... I don't know if you were one of the good kids, like one of the smart ones, or maybe you were one of the lesser human beings, shall we say.
All right. Careful with that.
Well, it's just, when you have someone who's like always really good, always well behaved, it's like, everyone just expects that from you, right? Whereas like, the guy who's like an arse. If he's like nice, everyone's like praising the hell out of him, like, yeah, good job, man, you're doing it. And that's kind of what it's like for Fugly. Like, he's always pretty good. And so as a result, like, we see him there on the board, look, he's in 2nd place, but that's just Fugly, that's just what he does. Whereas, these guys, when they go off, they're just like heart-stopping performances. That I think is maybe the reason for it. But yeah, I have to agree, it's one of the big crimes of this roster. There's only so much praise that can go around.
Yeah, there's probably some of that. Don't give enough credit to the consistently good. It's playing the inner bomb site as well in this game. Not the easiest position. And again, a default setup for compLexity. Spread out across the map with 5 Deagles. Hoping to get lucky, hoping to get a couple tags. They may be able to clean up later in the round, but it's not happening. This is a big play, but there's our man Fugly shutting it down. There's a fortunate headshot as well from Ye on the other side of the map. Gonna try and push down. Daps is running over to close the gap in that defense. He's going to get around the corner. Are they watching for it? There is one player, but he just turns away. Timing is not with Ye, and because of that, 2 kills going to go the way of Daps. That should pretty much end any potential for a complexity victory here. As PTR is going to be stuck behind smoke in a 1 versus 4, and he's just going to swing out wide, and he sees one, but Ethan's got Cirque's back. Quick 7-0.
Yeah, and Android has just gone full James Bond 007 scoreline. That's never good. I think, you know, he in my opinion is one of the standout players in this complexity roster. And he's having a very, very tough time of things right now. They got the money for the AWP once again. Peter's got it, although we haven't really had to say his name all too often, it feels like. I'm having trouble, even me, Jason, trying to find silver linings here for complexity. There doesn't seem to be many of them.
Yeah, well, this is a good start. They've got some damage onto Breezy. There's a Molotov in his path for retreat. So he had to stay inside the bullets, and unfortunately they're not able to complete that frag, but a good start on one, even though they have lost Ye. Yeah, and I mean, you can just see they're kind of stumped. It seems like all hope is lost at the moment, and it's just, you know, fallen to what's easy. And what can you always do, no matter the scenario? We'll execute onto that B bomb site where you have the advantage in numbers at the very least. A 4-on-2 here. Only one direction you've got to worry about. But it's not going to be easy. Daps far back. Fugly at high train. And now Daps adjusting his position to fully commit to this defense, and we'll see how this goes. Fugly is waiting, flashbangs out, he turns from him. He can spam through that smoke if he chooses to. He's going to push up behind it, use their own smoke as cover, get to a new angle. Daps has done some damage, but no kills. There's an easy one. Because of the Molotov, no one can trade it off, spraying through the smoke. It's a 50-50 battle that Def's going to win, and they might just have a chance. The best round we've seen complexity have so far. Breezy on top of the train, cannot find anyone, and he's overexposed, so he goes down. It'll be the first round for complexity, or it certainly should. And you can see there will be a timeout as one player from complexity has dropped from the server.
There's no way Ethan wins this peak. Oh no, Ethan, how's he done it? Almost. Oh, that was so close. Oh, I was sweating, but luckily enough, Def is able to go ahead and get that back. That would have been unreal if Ethan. I was almost lost. I am lost for words.
I was actually confused because of the drop. It still had one player as being alive. It had that as a 1-on-4 all of a sudden. So I didn't think he was even close to winning it. But that's not bad at all. Almost gives him a run for the money. 7-1. And this is like, we thought it was hard before to get your first round on the board. This is where it can get really tough because with 7 rounds straight for NRG and some of them pretty clean wins. So much money behind this. There's at least 2 more buys after this round that complexity will have to burn through and win straight, win consecutively if they want to eventually take away the economy and have an easier time.
Yeah, that reset is looming, and that's going to be another issue for them. They're going to have to whittle away at such a big mound of money. And they know that. So the pressure is very much on now. Daps is lying in wait down here. He's got a very, very quick rotation. Going to hear that initial volley of utility go out. They throw down one flash and...
Back to the inner bomb site we go.
Yeah, once again, back to basics. Fugly resides here with the AWP this time around. That's the big difference maker. He wasn't here earlier on. He's going to start to reposition, actually. Keeps his eye on uppers, opens up, does manage to take the first onto Slemmy. This time, no kills going the way of complexity. In fact, Fugly going to go back in for more. Spots the 9 dropping down, and ooh, yeah, he's going to go ahead and get rid of him. But Ethan lines them up. Damage done onto Peter as well, in amongst all the chaos. And Daps chiming in with one more. Suddenly, it's just Def. 1 versus 4, but here we go. He's turned it into a 1-on-3. He has the bomb down at his feet. Going to take the fight with Breezy, and Breezy comes out trumps. Defuse going to go through, and NRG are on to an 8th round. They're going to be happy now they've once again put complexity down in the dumps in terms of their money.
Yeah, it's not going to be a buy round. I think it's going to be around just yeah, 25, 2600 on 3 of their players, so that's not ideal, and even only Death can really get an AK-47 with armor, so I think compLexity is going to have to sit another round out, and that's just, that's hard to deal with. Another map where you just have, I mean, across the board, not enough production coming out of compLexity. They're running a lot of defaults, and as the past 2 rounds, obviously, they've fallen into the default, the standard executions onto that B bomb site, because it yielded them their first round, but, I mean, there's too many players not able to put enough frags on the board, struggling to find some of those kills on the entry. Now you have Breezy feeling confident, going for that peak, but going to fall away immediately. A lot of ground to cover with no support, but he gets away free. As Ethan's going to open up on 1. And again, 3 Glocks and a Deagle on the board. So this should be a pretty easy round for NRG, all things considered. The boost over the top of the box and actually just sprang through the smoke. Breezy doesn't realize where the bullets are coming from.
This round looks good for NRG. compLexity, 2 Glocks and a Deagle. Walk towards T-spawn. That sounds like the beginning of a bad joke. In a way, maybe it is. This round is starting to feel that way. Breezy and Ethan just dismantling the remaining players. I wasn't expecting much from it, of course. It was just Nico. Slemmy's got himself the Deag. And now he does not. 9-1, NRG. I mean, it's just been them. There's been no compLexity.
The tough part is Android and Ye, 2 of the big riflers that I mentioned on the first map. They're both at 1 kill, right? And well, actually, Ye might have more because of the reconnect. But PTR with the op, I mean, they've been in such like economic troubles that he hasn't been able to have it every single round he'd like. So even his frag count is a little bit low. But you can't chalk this all up to individuals. This kind of a game plan, it's tough to criticize just because we know compLexity has this new in-game leader, still a pretty new lineup, all things considered. So you're trying to run defaults likely because, one, it's easy to avoid confusion in a new lineup that's trying to work together still early on. And 2, because you want to be able to get it down for the future. You need to be able to run a default on this map. That's a good kill from Fugly. It also doubles up on a Slummy, rotates around, can't hit the dropping shot, and PTR, there he is getting involved in the action. Over the top of the smoke, finds 1 more, and Ye actually pushes up, gives away his position. He needs to get this frag. He needs to do it, and he does. Just before Cirque arrives, another flashbang comes out, and Ye's going to disappear into the smoke, but there's a timing on this that he just can't hit. Excuse me, that was Breezy, not Cirque, and here comes the flank. A lot of pressure on PTR with the AWP, but he's answering the call, but that's just too much. Slemmy in a 1 versus 2, 24 HP, and he's going to get pushed down, but not aware exactly where he is. That's an op-out. That wasn't aware of the HP, but it won't matter. Hits the shot, the Bulgarian. Something. We have to come up with a name for that. Don't have to do it right now. Just saying in general.
I've got it now. I've got it in the old noggin, but I'll bring that out next time.
It can't be Bulldozer. It was Bulldozer, wasn't it?
It wasn't. It actually wasn't. That's actually the reason why I'm smiling is because that's better than what I had. So there we go.
Can't be Bulldozer then.
Okay, can't be Bulldozer. Okay. Well then in that case I'll come up with another one. Here we go. Def on the scout. Ooh, Cirque's going to open up. That's a early man advantage going to be going their way. Now Slemmy's been able to answer back over here in the halls. Doesn't matter. They're getting taken apart piece by piece. And let me tell you, now it all falls on a Slemmy. He's got himself armor, an M4, 2 flashes, and a Molotov. He, of course, new IGL, new man on the field. Has to try and 1v4. And it's just not going to happen, is it? NRG, they're going to go up 11-1. They're feeling very, very good about this one. And it's pretty devastating for me that the saddest thing is seeing Android like this. I never thought, it is like watching a wounded animal. That's the analogy that Pimp uses a lot, but it's true. I mean, usually I think, it's because with Android, it's someone who I've always enjoyed watching play whenever I see compLexity. Normally, he's someone who makes all these big plays. He's someone who, even if they are kind of underperforming, you can at least rely on him to answer the call. And I never thought I'd see the day where he goes down 1-12 versus any team. But he's struggling right now. Now, Ethan's going to head on in to pop it in. He gets 1, and PTR has been able to go ahead and drop Cirque. So there we go. He finally wins that fight. Versus the Bulgarian Opera. He's been losing that time and time again. So man advantage in favor of compLexity. This is probably one of the best situations we've seen them in quite some time.
Yeah, they really can't afford to drop this round. A man advantage, plenty of time on the clock, using all their utility right now. And because they're using all of it in the choke point, the nade actually deals massive damage. Breezy's got this ankle covered on the right side. But it's silence as they sneak out around the smokes into the yard. Daps questioning, he looks away, not able to complete the kill, but he's got one more follow-up. Fugly goes down, but the remaining 2 defenders are still here. Breezy not involved yet, but now he pounces. And now compLexity in a 2-on-2 has so much ground to cover, and both players doubled up for NRG in the same exact spot, and Breezy trying to relocate, forced into the open. Perhaps a little bit frustrating. That's a nice headshot from Daps. Narrow angle, and it leaves Slemmy. The 2 in-game leaders, the 2 players most often criticized for not being able to put numbers on the board, and Daps not able to close it out. Looks like he had it, but 10 HP left on Slemmy. Heroically standing his ground in the 1-on-1. Second for compLexity in the half. Circ had 16K though, so no issues with money on the defensive side.
Yeah, and that's the real issue. You know, something that we really spoke about yesterday is how you only get a few opportunities, you know, in some situations in a half to really kind of have that turning point where you can break the CT's economy and actually start to string rounds together. And compLexity, they just haven't had them. You know, they've never had NRG's economy down low enough for that to be a problem. So every round has been a hard-fought round from compLexity. You know, I mean, even if they win, there's no relief from that. Peter, of course, he was looking good in the previous. He wants to try and replicate that once again. Ethan gonna nade him down. Breezy opens up with a kill onto Ye. So already it's gonna be the man advantage found for NRG. Circ now dismantles Slemmy. It's just gonna be utter destruction. Def goes creeping through this smoke. Ooh, he catches Ethan unaware, but no, he doesn't manage to get it. It's just Android. 1v5. This round, not going to be coming through from compLexity. Ooh, maybe. No, not at all. You know, Android, he gets you pumped, he gets you ready, and then leaves you feeling sad and empty. 2-14 for him, and 12-2 in the game. NRG comfortably ahead, and once again they've reset compLexity's economy. The story gets that much worse, Jason.
Yeah, it does just keep getting darker, doesn't it? Tough timeline for compLexity. Only pistols, 3 deagles. Slemmy still on that Tech 9. You can tell Slemmy has been out of the action for about a year, as he still has the Tech 9 equipped.
I mean, I'm hoping now we just see him utterly wreck NRG. That'd be amazing. You know, every single time you and I see these unconventional weapons come up, we do try and rally behind them.
Not the Tech 9 so much. I'm all for the R8. Let's get.
I do love the R8 as well.
Yeah, let's get that involved. Let's get some highlight clips of the R8. But the Tech 9 certainly, I don't think anyone's really shown that they can properly use it since the nerf came in. 13-2 at halftime. NRG continuing their domination from Mirage, carrying it over to Train.
Yeah, if anything, it's even more one-sided. This has been a very, very grim affair. It's hard to get too, you know, I mean, if you can take joy from this, you are a either you're an NRG fan or you're a very, very dark person who just likes to see people's hopes and dreams getting crushed before their very eyes. NRG have been on top throughout.
I kind of like it.
Well, there we go. You're one of the two, maybe even both.
Probably both.
Big fan of just stomping people's dreams down, you know.
Much better effort out of PTR, so if you're going to be happy about anything, it's kind of the bounce back that he's had. Still, obviously, not great stats, but just having the impact that we didn't see from Mirage. 11 kills, 15 deaths, nice 97 ADR. 7 of those 11 kills with the sniper rifle. Really reaching here, I guess, at this point.
Well, I mean, he's been like the one silver lining in the in just the lead balloon that has been this this compLexity team right now.
Yeah,
he's been looking good, at least. If you recall, he was kind of the key to the success in both the rounds that they've had, and he is maybe the man who could piece it all together. Maybe, you know, maybe you think you could slot right into this compLexity roster. You could head on over to play.esea.net and get involved yourself.
be a nice promotional tour. If you get up to rank S within a month, you automatically get a spot on the roster. It'd be sick.
There we go. NRG, they want to try and get this one over and done with fast as they can. Daps has brought up 2 flashes and a Molotov. This just screams the B play to me. You have the molly either for connector if you want to go for the aggression or for the after plant. Your cup runneth over with decisions, and they've got ahead of throwing it into connector straight away. That holds back these rotations. And ooh, PTR, he's very quick into the back. And actually, he might have just made this possible. Breezy's going to be able to go aggressive and find himself one. But he needs more success. He needs more than that, as now they've lost Cirque. It's Breezy and Daps left. Daps at a very heroic CT side pissed around, but this time they've shot the hero. They've shut him down, and Breezy falls. PTR, a big performance from him. Defuse is going to come on through, and compLexity, they find themselves the pistol round.
Yeah, that's very nice, and that's gonna. I mean, you never know with the CT side here on Train that this can be a comeback. We've seen it bog down a lot of teams. We would need not only to have compLexity establish themselves with the money very early on, but they'd also have to have just a huge swing in performance from so many individuals. You're going to want to see Ye just really climb up that scoreboard. Android's going to have to do it. Def as well. We had a good first map performance out of him. He's gone quiet here on Train, as have they all. And the AWP is already out for PTR, so a bit of a risk against these pistols. Slemmy pushing up, getting himself 3 kills, padding the stats early on. The bonus money as well, so a good start, but Def is low HP. He's going to get taken down. Slemmy's up next, and if Dapsy keeps up the pressure, he might have been able to find that. Just Breezy left. Let's compLexity build upon that pistol round victory.
Yeah, this is a little nice boost of confidence for a man who clearly needs it in the form of Slemmy. Oh, you love that sound, don't you? The slow-mo UMP is just ear-gratingly good. I kind of wish that was how it sounded, Jason. Maybe we can get you to do the Foley for the replay.
I'm still waiting for our Counter-Strike caster pack. Well, aggression over towards Ivy at the moment. Cirque is going to try and hold it off as the smoke goes down. Obviously not going to push through that from the CT side, but more than happy to do it from the T side. Might catch him off guard. There's a player here. Cirque realizes it, and actually one more. Def is caught out in the open, and that's an AWP. This play through the smoke, so aggressive, so unexpected, and actually Cirque's going to get a third. Even Android not ready on the rotation over, and I mean, Cirque is just saying, why not? If you're all going to have your knife out, I'll keep pushing forward, and PTR is finally there to shut him down, but how do you recover from this? Fugly falls as well, so actually a chance in a 2-on-3, but PTR and Ye have a big job to do.
Yeah, Aiton's going to get the bomb down. He will get peeked into and actually found by Peter, so they're not out of this just yet. He wants to try and claw them back into this round, tooth and nail. While the bomb's ticking down, NRG, they're hiding away. Daps and Breezy. They've bunkered down. Daps going to fall, but Breezy instantly trades. Now PTR, the pressure's on. They didn't quite spot where the kill came from. They know roughly where it is, and now Peter's spotted out Breezy. It's going to be playing with the timer. There's no smoke. PTR has to take the fight, and Breezy's outsmarted him. He just plays it round the trade and jumps on top. And then knocks him down. Breezy carries them through to a 14th round. On the back of a fantastic play from the Bulgarian Bloodhound, it is going to be a 14th for NRG. There you go. You like
Bloodhound, that was the gold you were saving.
Yeah, that was the gold. You know, it'll do. What were you expecting? How much more poetic could I have made that?
No,
Jason?
it's not bad.
Okay, good. I was going to say. Whew. I mean, maybe not as good as Bulldozer.
I actually don't even think Bulldozer's that good. It's just, you know, it's the go-to for every, you know, I think people were calling them Nico the Bosnian Bulldozer. Ooh, here's a nice stack from compLexity to yield them 2 kills, especially considering they don't have a great arsenal of weaponry. They didn't have a whole lot to play with there. A couple of UMPs. They only have 2 M4s, so it's a good start. But Cirque has now eliminated Ye, and he's got to do more. One player, Def, coming from Ivy. That's only a CZ. He needs to be passive as this bomb goes down. He's going to push forward. So is Android out of the connector. PTR helps him find one, and Breezy cannot build upon it. It's Cirque in a 1 versus 2. As he takes down Def at the same time, wrapping around the train. One's gone up the ladder. He's not aware of it, and there's the jump down, and Cirque just utterly confused. And compLexity holds on for a 5th. They have now gotten more rounds on Train than they did on Mirage.
You are really, really reaching for these storylines. But, you know, maybe. Because I tell you what, they're winning that round there. That was the round that they shouldn't have won. NRG, they're going to be feeling a bit disappointed at how they let that one slip through their fingers. Very partial. Actually, full buying. It's like a weird in between. It's partial. They want to try and win a round back. And they've got 3 players down here towards Ivy. Now Slemmy lies in wait. He has support from PTR. PTR's opened up. Molotov slows them down, but no, they're already up and past it. And Breezy's found that. Slemmy, it was all onto him, and he's going to go ahead and hit the deck. Now suddenly Android hung out to dry here, and the A bomb site does have Ye rotating around, so he's thankfully found some companionship in the form of Ye.
Fugly's the X factor. He's been spotted, so Android has to get into a better position, and this has been great trades for NRG to at least put them in a chance to win this round. Tough part is Ethan's got to meet up with Fugly. They'd be fighting at the same angle, so it's kind of sketchy. They do not know how they want to attack this choke point, and actually Android's even spotted that one out. So really good crossfire set up by compLexity for the moment. Good frag from Def with the AWP. Fugly's got to do something, but he's got no HP left to take the fight. He knows they're pushing upon him, and there's the kill from Ye. It's all down to Daps with the AWP. And they know his general vicinity. CZ is out, only 1 bullet, and he's got to reload. So there's the element of surprise gone for that one awkward shot. Forced right into the arms and the op and the scope of Def.
6-14. Now only 8. Yeah, that's right. 8 rounds between these two teams. Double op setup being bought out for compLexity. We know that they're a fan of this. It's going to be between Def and Peter. No money left for NRG as they went for the I don't even. It was like it was a really weird investment. They invested down to weird numbers. They didn't make sense to me. Maybe it does to your massive brain, Jason. But left them with no money here. So now they're going to go peeking into this B-bomb side. Peter's able to go to drop Breezy. So you don't imagine too much more success is going to be found. That Molotov goes down. Fugly's at least able to retrieve the Deagle, but that's a bit of a grim compensation for losing Breezy early on. And they're just hoping for a bomb plant here. B-bomb site's pretty good in that regard, just to be able to explode into it. They've dropped the one flash. That's going to go down. Okay, a lot of them have gotten by. I didn't foresee all 4 players getting into the site. And now they've actually caught Peter out in the open. Oh, dear. Luckily enough, Ye has pulled this round back. Defuse going to come in. compLexity find a 7.
Did Peter just get killed with a Glock from that range?
I didn't see the weapon.
That's wild. Yeah, one flashbang, NRG, perfect timing on it, throwing it as they run into down the lower ramp and just blinds that one player, the small 1-second window for them to get into the site and get the bomb down. So success for NRG in that round. Starting to see some of the struggles emerge in the T side of Train. Also, I mean, this is now turned in from, we said, an admirable performance at halftime from PTR. Well, it's turned into a great performance from him. He's doubled up on his next closest teammate in frag. Slemmy with 11, PTR with 22. Certainly at points feels like the only thing keeping compLexity on this run. Still low on money, and look at the pressure being put onto Ye. He's got to fall back very, very quickly, very early. Doesn't use the Molotov, though. And actually hasn't even called for a rotation until just now. Peter's arriving at this very moment. And the whole map slows down and goes quiet. 14-7, NRG having some problems closing this one out. It's been a 5-1 run in this second half. compLexity off the pistol round. Double drop coming in, but there's no one here for the defense. Now Peter's going to gain position up towards box halls. He's pushed the upper ramp. It's going to allow Ye to fall back, rotate, and shore up the defense outside, make it just a little bit stronger. Also an early warning system. And NRG, they might just lose one player here, and they do. It's Ethan who just kind of peeks out into it, and Peter actually gets a bit lackadaisical. The bomb's in front of the Molotov. They could actually try and trap him, but they wanted to wait for that smoke to go down. Now looks like they want to rotate back towards the outer train yard, but there's 3 people here, including Android in T main. But all the kills immediately. Actually, Def just not even aware, and Android can't get anything done, and somehow this has collapsed. Breezy with 3 quick kills, 3 different angles as well, and compLexity just gets punched in the face.
Yeah, just a straight uppercut, complete disrespect. NRG A good round from Breezy. Then we're feeling very, very good about that one. 3 big kills, 3 quick, clean kills as well. And, you know, kind of the least clean sequence of that was Android peeking out and all those players not looking his way. He has been really having a tough time of it today. And, I mean, you know, what a time to have, you know, arguably one of the worst performances we've seen him have throughout all of Pro League. I mean, there's no doubt about it. He's struggling significantly right now. Maybe that would have made a big difference because now NRG, they're going to go 15-7. They've reached match point here on Train. And for compLexity, time's starting to run out. They've gone ahead and saved 2 weapons. That's good at least. You can go ahead and see, yeah, you can throw a rifle over. Going to give them that much water work. I'm very glad we get to see the replay of this. That first shot's nice. Second's nice. Third shot's even nicer. Look at that. Flick round. Nice 180 from him.
Yeah, I mean, they still should have been able, compLexity should have been able to hold that outer bomb site, especially because when you have a player pushing towards team main, it essentially serves the same purpose as having someone in ladder room if the attack comes from that main choke point, is you just have a player at an off angle who can stay safe and just be a nuisance. Fortunately, you know, when you miss all your shots, that's kind of what happens, Harry. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, I actually know about that very well, Jason. I miss every shot I'm given, both inside and outside of CSGO.
I believe that entirely.
Here's the last buy that compLexity could ever have. You know, not ever, but you know, within the confines of this game,
within this one map.
Here is Ethan. He's been a big time player, and he's already out. He's already outside here. He's sort of just hunting down. And ooh, oh my goodness!
All right, hacky boy.
Someone told him. Someone must have said. Yeah, he had to go ahead and just do that. Sure, why not?
It's actually not that uncommon of a spam spot just because it's along the train, right? And that's sometimes where people are to watching the ladder room. But it just looks a bit silly.
It does. It does. I'm very happy we got to see it though, Jason. Oh, he's not done. He's not done. That's a second. Maybe Ethan's just gonna be the star of this round, or PTR. There's 2 players it could be. Who will it be?
Ethan's powdering bottoms. Ethan's still on a tear, but just because they know his position, he's put out of the fight. He's got to rotate all the way around, going for the big flank through team main, and equally there's a flank coming into ladder room. Cirque got to keep his eye on that one with the AWP. That's going to be an important battle. He's not even considering it, and there's Ye with the big kill. That's going to make it awkward for Breeze inside the bomb site. Good frag from Ethan, but he's not going to be aware of PTR, and there it is. compLexity has saved it off the back of a triple kill of PTR once again. We've said that name quite a bit, and a free upgrade to the double up, keeping compLexity alive. They're going to have their 8th. Inching ever closer, but no more mistakes to give up.
And I mean, commiserations to PTR. I mean, look at him go. He's going to be bedbound for weeks after this with the amount he's carrying. 26 kills to his name. That is an unreal... I mean, especially when you consider, if you remember, just kind of 10 rounds in, we spoke about him not really having that much of a performance. Now, you know, looking 24 rounds in, top of the board. I think he's top of the server even. So he's definitely trying. And it's going to continue. It's going to continue. 2 big kills from PTR as he shuts them down out towards A. He's forced them into the inner bomb site. Ye still stands here, but he has to stand proud. 3 players coming his way. And he's going to get chipped on down now. Molotov down in the open. He takes the fights and does lose them. PTR's on 3. There's no stopping him. Maybe there is. Cirque's going to go ahead and do it. 2 big kills. It's back and forth. And Android smites down the last 2 remaining players for NRG. compLexity going to be here with the 9th. What a back and forth round that was.
I mean, I guess if you accomplish anything in a round, it is just set PTR up for all the kills. Even if you can't find one yourself, you're just luring them into the open, trying to clear out either position as PTR comes over. Cirque is almost able to shut it down. Not going to happen. Yeah, he's been phenomenal, PTR. And it's kind of interesting because we saw NRG was able to handle the double up setup and Peter in particular on Mirage, but here on Train they seem to be stumped. Completely stumped. This is always a dangerous round, though. We've seen so many comebacks end against the CZs, against the Deagles, the P250s, some kind of an aggressive play, an all or nothing. Some spam coming through from Android. Just immediately heading to this inner bomb site. 2 smokes, 3 flashbangs. PTR is here, and he's been phenomenal, as we've said Very, very much. Immediate dink onto Ye. There's the op with 2. That's big for Peter, but they're bypassing him. They're going towards Connector, and his teammate goes down. He's now all alone here for the moment. Molotov in his hands, and yeah, Cirque's going to find that. Transitions to the M4, and it looks like he wants to close it out. He's got the op. He's got Old Faithful with him. And Slemmy in a 1 versus 1 at the bomb train. So much ground to cover. So many different angles that he'd have to look for, and that's going to be the victory for NRG.
Yeah, I guess you could say, Cirque really did want to go to Dallas, and I think, with this win here, they've just got out and locked that in. That was monstrous at the end. And I mean, if you're PTR, you ought to be kicking yourself. He was trying so hard. At the end, he gets 2 kills, and just no one else pulls through. But NRG, they're going to take the series 2-0.
Yeah, that was impressive stuff, and I think most people would have... oh, there it is. That's a cool graphic. See you in Dallas.
You too, Moses. See you in Dallas.
Yes.
Shh. Nobody knows yet.
Anyway, NRG is not surprisingly going to Dallas. They've been on a tear for now. And with that said, good job. Congratulations to you. Say it, Pimp. Tell them congrats, man.
Congratulations, NRG. Well deserved. Trace?
No Danes on that team, I noticed.
No Danes on that team. Maybe we don't have any Danes going to Dallas.
Yeah, not a single Dane has qualified
yet. Not a
yet.
single Dane, man.
That's really quite unfortunate either way. Congratulations again to NRG. I think we could have seen this one coming, but I just want to say I did personally. I can't really attest to what these guys are saying over here, but take it away, Halvor.
So you're saying you're not paying attention during predictions?
No, I am. Yeah. What I'm saying is I only know my predictions to be right, not yours.
Even though we have the same one.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, got you. No, yeah. More of the same, really, from what we saw on the first map. Again, this time around, we talked about Peter having shown inconsistency throughout the season. Perfect example. Really bad first map. Absolutely stellar in the second one, but unfortunately for him, he was playing 1v5 for the better part of that game. And this was, again, just a case of NRG being superior players in just superior in every facet of the game from start to finish, to the point where they can actually do whatever they want. If they want, I wanted to try out a Mac 10 rush out into Yard. They probably could have done that in a buy round and still been successful.
But the real question is, what will they be able to do on LAN now that they've qualified?
That's really the big question mark, right? Because in the past, people have looked at, well, several of the NRG players. Peter played their last season as a fairly online. I say, not straight up onliners, but
onliners.
Okay, that's fair. I was trying to be nice, but yeah, like straight up onliners who can't perform in an offline environment, and that's obviously a kind of it's not a fun mark to have on yourself as a player or anything like that. I have faith that we've seen enough of these players on a consistent enough level where it's just like the foundation of how they play Counter-Strike makes sense that it should translate well into an offline tournament.
Looking at the comparison here, PTR and Cirque. PTR putting up a hellacious fight there on Train. A much, much better showing than he saw on Mirage. But this Cirque guy is also a formidable force.
They're both great in this game. Cirque, obviously, once again, it was great to see him play well on Train. We didn't see that yesterday, and I think we've seen previous in ESL Pro League as well. He didn't really perform up to his best on Train, but it seems like that's washed off. He was very dominant, making a lot of plays, constantly moving around on the map, and that's one of the things that you want to be doing as an AWP, and that's one of the things that showcases confidence. Yeah. Whenever somebody's moving around a lot, taking a peek, for example, in T-Main, then going back to Ivy and taking another peek, then going back towards Pop Dog, he's doing it all. He's moving around and feeling confident in his movement in the map, and that's great to see from him on a map that he hasn't been showcasing the best level on yet.
And the cool thing is that yesterday we talked about him being weak on the T side of Train. This time he got to start on CT, ease into things, and all of a sudden it's a completely different guy on the server, and compLexity gets to feel the wrath of that.
Well, they definitely felt the wrath. And my friend Ethan over there putting some pain down. Now, the question will be, can they do it on LAN? Again, they do qualify for the ESL Pro League Season 7 finals. I was close there. I almost said the wrong thing. The Season 7 finals in Dallas. Of course, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, well, you've been missing the party this entire time. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at what that's all about.
Toe-to-toe with him now. We talked about flashiness. Kenny's the flash here. He does it again.
That's right. www.proleague.com/Dallas. Head over there and pick up those tickets, because you know what? You want to be there for Counter-Strike's homecoming on the 18th through the 20th in Dallas.
I may go buy a ticket.
Texas, man.
You haven't bought
Yeah.
it already? Like,
No.
last time me and Trey did this, I think we bought around like 250 tickets or something
Yeah,
like that. We had bought ours from week 3. We were ready to go.
I found myself in the parking lot scalping them later on.
Why
in the
didn't you
event
tell
just
me?
because.
I mean, actually, yeah, you were in the U.S., weren't you? But you were trying to actually qualify for the thing.
And we did qualify.
Yeah, so
So you
you
didn't
got
need a
your
ticket?
ticket. Yeah, like, what are you complaining about?
I got that for free, actually.
Yeah, we
They actually
didn't.
paid me to go there. Yeah, interesting.
There we go.
An interesting concept, but all of that aside, the big picture here will be NRG doing it on LAN. They've been in a tear online. They've obviously earned and qualified for this event, for other events, but can they keep up this consistency?
It's a fair point to raise, I'd say, especially considering NRG's recent history with being not so great online. I remember the team when they had with GOB and Tapson on it, the two Germans, Legia as well with their PTR. Can't remember who the last guy were. Doesn't really matter. But they were great online and you know, a formidable force. Whenever you practice against them online, you could feel they were confident. You could feel the skill on the team. But whenever you face them in official matches, it was a little bit less viable or less aggressive than in practice. And whenever you saw them online, you just see it was a team that was scared in a way to play their own game. Because one thing that is important to notice when you talk about being an online team and a LAN team, when you're good online and maybe not so great online, it's not that you're cheating or like doing anything you shouldn't be doing online. It's just the fact that you can't really play the same style online. You have to be able to do more in the game and be able to conduct more and play different styles and you know, compose yourself to perform when pressure is at max, you know, when you're not sitting as you're doing at home, when the table maybe is 5 centimeters higher than normally and all that kind of stuff. All these small factors plays in, and some players just don't have that, you know, and have to learn that by experience. And that's why I still have my my doubts about NRG, you know. They're playing very well right now and they're doing one hell of a job qualifying for this tournament, but going from here, you know, to perform online on the same level, beating the same amount of teams and playing the same amount of Counter-Strike to that high level, that's just a complete new layer to the game, basically. So that's going to be interesting to see if they can do that. I still doubt it. I still think they're going to, you know, see some tough times at LANs, but it's only going to strengthen them going into the future LANs.
And as far as LANs go, I mean, we could talk a little bit about Daps, Fugly, Ethan. I mean, these guys have had LAN experience in the past. I said veterancy a second ago, and it upset you guys for whatever purpose. I don't know why they got upset, but these are 3 players that should be able to bring sort of a
calming nature.
I guess in a way. I mean, they've been there, they've done that. It's not new ground to them. So LAN jitter shouldn't be an excuse in any of those capacities.
At least not for those 3. But then you consider the fact that who's really the heavy hitters on that side? It's two of the people you didn't mention, right? In Breeze and Zerk. I think one massive benefit for them, if Pro League is long term, is the fact that they also qualified for Sydney, right?
Yeah.
And IM Sydney is before Pro League finals, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
Yeah.
So they kind of get. It sounds really silly to say like use the IM as a practice event, but for a team that, as you said, doesn't necessarily have too much experience with the offline environment at the very highest level, they get to have at least one tournament before going into Pro League in Sydney, where they can, you know, maybe get into a fortunate group, get a couple of Australian teams they can beat around, and then just, you know, have a good shot at, you know, dueling it out with one of the better teams that are invited to Sydney, and take that experience, whether it's good, whether it's bad, and use that as kind of preparation for Pro League finals in Dallas.
Preparation, tenacity, speed,
hard work, dedication,
momentum. Sorry, that's a totally different stream. Let's go ahead and kick it over to a break. That does it for us here at the Xfinity Analyst Desk for this series. We'll be jumping into Splice versus a team known as Dignitas, a favorite of that guy over there. Either way, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. We come back. Make sure you're here with us.